Listen, being nice doesn't mean being a doormat. Being approachable doesn't mean tolerating disrespect. And being friendly doesn't mean giving away your energy to every single person who demands it. The truth is simple. If you are too friendly, you will get taken for granted. People will smile at you, but behind that smile, they'll see you as easy, as someone who won't say no, as someone who doesn't value themselves enough to set boundaries. Stop over-explaining. Stop over-apologizing. Stop saying yes when your soul is screaming no. Friendliness should be a strength, not a liability. When you respect yourself, people respect you. When you value your time, people value it too. And when you learn to say no, you open space for the right yes in your life. Remember, lions don't need to roar to prove they're powerful. They walk with dignity, they choose their pride carefully, and they never waste energy on proving their worth to sheep. So stop being too friendly. Start being intentional, start being powerful, because in this world you don't attract respect by pleasing everyone. You attract respect by respecting yourself first. Too many people in this world confuse kindness with weakness. They look at a gentle smile, a calm response, or a forgiving heart, and they assume it's softness. They think kindness means you can be manipulated, stepped on, or ignored. But that assumption says more about them than it does about you. Being kind is not a flaw. It is a conscious choice, and a conscious choice requires strength. Weakness is passive. It avoids conflict out of fear. It hides from responsibility. Weakness says yes because it's scared to say no. Kindness, on the other hand, is active. It chooses patience when anger is easier. It chooses compassion when judgment is tempting. Kindness takes courage because it means controlling your impulses, mastering your ego, and acting with integrity even when no one else does. Think about it. Anyone can explode in anger. Anyone can insult, criticize, or dismiss others. That takes no strength, no intelligence, no emotional maturity. But to remain calm in chaos, to stay kind in the face of cruelty, that requires control. That requires inner power. Kindness is not the absence of strength. It is proof of mastery over your strength. Weakness folds when challenged. Kindness does not. Weakness bends to pressure because it fears rejection or judgment. Kindness holds its ground with grace. A kind person can still say no. A kind person can still walk away from disrespect. A kind person can be firm without being cruel. That's the difference. Weakness is surrender, but kindness is strength under discipline. When you are weak, people feel sorry for you, but they don't respect you. When you are kind, people may underestimate you at first, but the moment they realize you will not be taken advantage of, the respect follows. Respect is not earned by aggression, it is earned by balance, by being both approachable and unshakable. The world often mistakes kindness for weakness because they see it through their own lens of insecurity. People who lack emotional control believe everyone else should lack it too. They cannot comprehend that someone can be gentle and still powerful, humble and still unstoppable, that misunderstanding is not your burden, it is their limitation. Understand this. Kindness is a choice of warriors. It is the strength of those who could destroy but choose to build. It is the wisdom of those who could dominate but choose to lead. Weakness asks for approval. Kindness doesn't need approval. It creates impact silently, consistently, and unapologetically. So the next time someone mistakes your kindness for weakness, don't waste energy proving them wrong. Just stand tall, set your boundaries, and let your actions speak. Because real kindness is never fragile. It is unshakable, immovable, and far stronger than the aggression of those who confuse cruelty with power. Respect never comes free. It is earned, demanded, and reinforced. And the strongest tool you have to create respect in your life is boundaries. Without boundaries, people will keep testing you, keep pushing you, and keep seeing how much they can take before you finally break. Boundaries are not walls to shut people out. They are the gates that determine who enters, how they enter, and how long they get to stay. Think of boundaries like rules in a game. Every game, no matter how fun, has rules that cannot be broken. Without rules, the game collapses into chaos. Your life is the same. If you do not clearly communicate your boundaries, your time limits, your values, your standards, people will treat your life like an open playground with no rules. And in that chaos, you will always lose. Weak people believe setting boundaries makes them selfish, but the truth is the opposite. Boundaries are not selfish. They are self-respect in action. When you say no to the wrong things, you say yes to the right things. When you protect your energy, you have more to give to the people who truly matter. Boundaries make your kindness sustainable instead of draining. Without boundaries, relationships become unbalanced. At work, your boss will overuse you. In friendships, people will expect you to always adjust. In family, you will become the one who sacrifices while others take. Over time, resentment grows and you burn out. But when you set boundaries, people learn where the line is, and respect begins to grow, not resentment. Boundaries are not always loud. They don't always require anger or confrontation. Sometimes a boundary is a simple, calm, firm, "I don't allow that." Sometimes it is choosing not to answer a message at midnight. Sometimes it is walking away from a conversation that disrespects your values. Boundaries are not about fighting. They are about standing tall without moving an inch. People test boundaries because they want to see what you'll tolerate. Every time you stay silent when you should speak, you teach them that their behavior is acceptable. Every time you let something slide, you tell them it's okay to repeat it. Boundaries are about teaching people how to treat you. If you don't teach them, they will decide for themselves, and it will rarely be in your favor. Notice the people who respect boundaries. They are usually the strongest, most secure individuals. Why? Because they live by their own code and they understand the value of others living by theirs. The ones who resist your boundaries, who get angry or offended, are the very ones who are benefiting from your lack of them. Your boundary exposes their manipulation, so boundaries are not just about control. They are about power, dignity, and clarity. They separate respect from disrespect, love from dependency, and value from exploitation. Without them, you lose yourself. With them, you rise above. And the moment you set them with confidence, the world around you shifts. The wrong people fade, and the right ones finally see your worth. There is a dangerous truth about human behavior. People rarely value what comes too easily. The more accessible you are, the more they assume your time, your energy, and even your loyalty are endless. When you're always available, always smiling, always saying yes, you stop being appreciated. You start being taken for granted. Being friendly is beautiful, but being too friendly is an open invitation for exploitation. The problem is not your kindness, it's the imbalance. When you keep giving without limits, people stop seeing your generosity as a gift. They start seeing it as an obligation. They begin to expect it, demand it, and worst of all, overlook it. Think about the times you went out of your way for someone and they barely noticed. Why? Because when you make yourself too accessible, you remove the mystery, the rarity, the value. Diamonds are precious because they are rare, but if diamonds grew on every street corner, no one would bother picking one up. The same principle applies to your presence. Too much friendliness can also blur respect. People may start joking at your expense, ignoring your words, or interrupting you because they assume you will never push back. And the more you tolerate this, the deeper the pattern sets. Eventually, you find yourself surrounded by people who smile at you, but do not respect you. And respect, once lost, is very difficult to reclaim. Friendship without respect is exploitation disguised as connection. If your friendliness is not balanced with strength, people will mistake it for weakness. They will come to you when they need, but disappear when you need them. They will take your time, your advice, your presence, but fail to return the same energy. and every time you let it happen, you teach them it's acceptable. Real friends, real allies, real leaders do not demand constant friendliness. They understand that your time and energy are valuable. They respect when you say no, and they value the moments when you say yes even more. Those who take your friendliness for granted were never truly with you. They were with your availability. To stop being taken for granted, you must shift the way you show up. Be friendly, yes, but also be intentional. Give when you want to, not when you feel pressured. Offer your time when it truly matters, not when someone simply expects it. The less you spread yourself thin, the more powerful your presence becomes. Remember, your energy is your currency. Spend it wisely. Too much friendliness will bankrupt your respect and drain your value, but balanced friendliness, where warmth is paired with boundaries, creates a presence people cannot ignore and cannot take lightly. That is the difference between being liked for convenience and being respected for your worth. Too many people chase popularity as if being liked is the ultimate measure of success. But here's the reality: being liked is temporary, being respected is permanent. Popularity can vanish the moment trends shift, moods change, or opinions turn against you. Respect, on the other hand, roots itself in who you are and how you stand, not how many people clap for you. Popularity is loud. It's about applause, validation, and being in the spotlight. Respect is quiet. It's about influence, trust, and being remembered long after the noise fades. Ask yourself this: do you want people to like you for the moment, or do you want people to respect you for a lifetime? The answer determines the legacy you leave behind. When you chase popularity, you bend to please. You laugh at jokes you don't like. You say yes when you want to say no. You mold yourself into what others expect just so they keep liking you. But when you chase respect, you stop performing. You live by your values, your code, your truth, and people admire that even if they don't always agree with you. Respect is built on consistency. It comes from showing up strong, keeping your word, and refusing to compromise your dignity for approval. Popularity is built on trends. It comes from fitting in, staying relevant, and following what everyone else is doing. Which one sounds more powerful to you? The strength of your principles, or the weakness of fitting in? Think about leaders, creators, icons. Many of them were not liked in the beginning. They faced criticism, doubt, even hatred. But over time, their discipline, their courage, and their unshakable identity won them respect. Popularity may have skipped them, but respect made them unforgettable. Respect outlives trends. Popularity feeds the ego, but respect feeds the soul. The ego wants quick likes, constant validation, and endless approval. The soul wants authenticity, alignment, and impact. When you prioritize respect, you might lose some fans, but you gain something far more valuable: people who may not always agree with you, but who will never forget the power of who you are. Popularity is borrowed. It depends on others. Respect is earned. It depends on you. If people stop liking you, your popularity dies. But if you keep living by your code, your respect multiplies, whether people like you or not. Respect is freedom. Popularity is dependency, and freedom will always be greater than chains disguised as applause. Respect makes people listen when you speak, even if they don't like you. It makes them pause before crossing your boundaries. It makes them think twice before underestimating you. Popularity may open doors, but respect keeps them open. Popularity may fill rooms, but respect makes people rise when you enter. One is noise, the other is power. Friendliness is a gift, but when it stands alone, without backbone, without strength, it quickly transforms into weakness. People don't just see your smile, they measure how far they can push you. If your friendliness isn't supported by firmness, it becomes a signal that says, I can be bent, I can be used, I can be ignored. The truth is, kindness without limits is not kindness, it's surrender. When you're too friendly without boundaries, people stop treating you as a peer and start treating you as a doormat. They don't see generosity, they see an opportunity. They don't hear your voice, they hear silence. And once you teach others that your friendliness has no edge, no strength, they will keep testing how much you'll tolerate. Strength is the backbone that gives friendliness power. Imagine shaking hands with someone whose grip is firm, whose presence is strong, whose words carry weight. That friendliness is not weakness, it is influence. It makes people feel welcome, but it also makes them respect your ground. Strength makes friendliness valuable. On the other hand, friendliness without strength makes people doubt you. They may smile to your face, but behind your back they dismiss you. They treat you as nice, but never as serious. They borrow your time, but don't return it. They listen when you flatter them, but ignore you when you speak your truth. And why? Because your friendliness was never reinforced with power. Think about leaders. The ones who are loved and respected are not the ones who were too nice. They were approachable, yes, but they carried an undeniable authority. Their friendliness was framed by discipline, by standards, by a refusal to be walked over. People felt their warmth, but also knew where the line was. That's why their friendliness wasn't weakness. It was strength in disguise. Friendliness needs fire. Without fire, it's just sugar. Sweet, but dissolves quickly. With fire, it becomes magnetic. People admire you, but they also know better than to exploit you. They value your yes because they know you're not afraid to say no. And that balance is what makes friendliness an asset, not a liability. Weak friendliness attracts users, but strong friendliness attracts allies. Users see you as an endless supply. Allies see you as a partner. Users drain you. Allies empower you. Users clap when you serve them. Allies rise when you lead them. The difference lies in whether your friendliness is backed by strength or not. Every time you choose friendliness, ask yourself, is this friendliness coming from power, or is it coming from fear? If it's power, people will respect you. If it's fear, fear of rejection, fear of not being liked, then it will only breed weakness, and in life, weakness doesn't win respect, only strength does.